it's very difficult.
It's just scary.
And you have children.
I got wonderful babies who this has been their life, unfortunately. You know, because they only, well, I mean, you know, like I've had a good childhood, but it's the only childhood they had.
Has your hip been taken off the market?
Yes.
It's off the market.
It's off the market.
It's a recalled?
It's not recalled. It's off the market.
Voluntarily off the market. Yeah.
Should I go up front? Do you have time to wait for me?
I think that's a good idea. You were invited. Oh, I'm sorry.
I will.
Thanks for your help. Okay. All right. Take care. Okay.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nico.
Excuse me, dear. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm going against some fish swimming upstream.
Go ahead.
Good luck. I'm a trout. Thank you. I love your tie.
Thank you.
That's a good one. It was a great one.
Yeah. Now we know more.
See you. Excuse me, sorry.
Hi, I'm fine. I'm Francis. I'm Liz. Nice to see you. I didn't know. Well, I didn't know who I should talk to, or I'll just
Liz
ask
and Mike,
him.
can you?
Hey,
I wanted to follow up. Thank
I'm
you
Francis.
for sharing, Francis.
Well, I want to be respectful.
No, you were more than respectful.
My dad was a surgeon.
By the way, what I didn't say, I got my hip replaced last October.
Which one did you have?
My left.
I mean, which hip? What did you get?
Oh, I've got a Pinnacle.
You do?
Yeah.
With the metal liner?
What's that? No, I don't.
No, they don't.
But
Where can I go? Like, what doctor?
Michael owns our chief counsel. That's right.
Hey, do you have doctors who are familiar with? I need somebody.
Do you have contact information that you can be on?
Yeah, I have a card, a business card.
How are you? Good, Brian, sure. Are you going to go? Here he is, Soto. You never changed. What is
May I trade? Do you have a business card too? Don't laugh at my card. I'm less professional now than I used to be.
Understood. How old are your kids?
13, and 11. And they hate. I did. I had, and that's the beauty of medicine is, you know, if it weren't for IVF, I wouldn't have any kids. And now
I have a card, but I can. It's all right. Just put it.
I'm a part-time dog photographer. Now I used to work full-time, but.
That's awesome. So look, I will have someone get in touch with you. Okay, it's Francis.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm Mike.
Mike, nice to see you.
And
your last name?
Ullman. ULLMANN.
ULLMANN. 2 N's and 2 L's. All right. Are you here in New Jersey?
Yes. Here in New Jersey, general counsel.
Okay.
Of
I'm looking for physicians, like doctors who are familiar. Like, there's just so much information, and it's scary. And then when I meet real people that have the problem, I'm like, and I was one of the last to get the Pinnacle before it got taken off the market. So I'm not as bad as some of the people who got it in like 2008 and stuff.
I will have someone get in touch with you, like later today or tomorrow, and see how they can help you out.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's my cell, so
okay.
I appreciate it.
Very good.
Mike?
I'll definitely.
Or do you go by Michael?
Either one.
Okay.
Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you.
Oh, I need it.
Like you wouldn't really even see that. She doesn't.
Oh, good, good. Do you want to go up? I can wait. Yeah. Now I'm waiting. Excuse me. Hey,
I'm a retiree.
Nice to see
I'm
you.
sure this is Bob Campbell, who
Hey,
is
Mr.
a
Campbell,
retiree, who's
or
vice
Dr.
chairman
Campbell.
for
No,
many
not
years.
only honorary documents. No,
These count.
We understand how you feel, and everyone cares about this, and you will
I know.
connect with someone, and you will get guidance.
It's just the
It's
unknown
worrisome, of
unknowns,
course.
and
Right.
You care about
having
your
little
family.
babies, and they've lived through. I didn't get better after hip replacement. I broke out in like boils, and it really hurt to walk for 4 years. I mean, I couldn't function like a normal person. I don't know why. A year ago, I started walking with less pain, and then only to find out,
All these worries.
heart, kidney pain,
yeah.
like start. I just don't know where to go.
Thank you for raising it.
I know.
They will give you a name. You will get assistance.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
The old timers.
And my father was a surgeon for many years,
Oh, really?
so
Okay,
yeah, he,
that's great.
it's. I feel close to doctors and the medical community, and if it weren't.
I spent 36 years with J&J.
What was your?
Well, I came through originally finance and all, but when I became vice chairman of the board, and a matter of fact, I did have all of the devices and everything like that, which included orthopedics.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
It's huge.
And those were the early days, really, of
in this
getting into the hips and knees and things
so
like that.
50s and 60s and 70s.
This, well,
60s.
I actually retired in '95, so it was, I had taken over the devices in the '80s.
80s. Okay. Hey. Okay. I can go now. Nice. Thank you for speaking. I appreciate it. Yeah. Let's go. Hi. Excuse me.
Went well.
Yep.
Oops. I'm sorry.
I'm looking for common cards that
Hi. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
just the ones that were
Hi.
yeah, because I got Catholic offices.
Bye-bye. Lost my ride. Hey, thank you. Fine.
She's going to 410, I think. Oh, she is? Going to get her kid.
You ready? You okay?
Yeah.
Good.
How did you do? Are people curious about what you had to say?
You mean up front?
Yeah. When you went and talked, did you? talk
Well, he
to-
said he just got a Pinnacle hip.
Gorsky.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yes, he just said last year.
No.
Yeah. And I said, oh, the metal? And he's like, no, because I'm like, because they don't sell that anymore, right? But I'm sure he got like a ceramic or plastic. I guess that's all you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So what did he say about you?
he introduced me to the, what's up? I'm Francis.
I know. Good to meet you.
Troublemaker.
Yes, that's
Not really, though. I don't mean to make trouble. I
Oh, no,
just do.
yes,
you
I
were
hope
very-
you do. Okay, hi,
I'm Jane.
Kirby. We'd like to, can we interview you about what went on in there?
Yeah,
Okay.
can we go sit down?
Sure.
I'm just kind of shaky.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we're going to sit him sitting down. Where would you like to sit?
Anywhere, like just
Okay.
seated.
I mean, do you want to sit here? That's not going to work for you, right?
Maybe the steps.
Okay.
Is that close enough?
That should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Where'd you come-
Could you listen in? Did you hear us?
no, we didn't. But
I try to be
Okay.
respectful, but
okay, no, that's
You were
good.
too nice, damn it.
I know, but I feel like that's how I want to be treated, you know.
I know. I absolutely agree.
And I
absolutely agree.
and
the
I
only way you're going to be heard.
right,
So
And
which
you were
bed?
and
perfect.
All right.
for
Which-
credibility
which is
for
best?
all of us. I don't.
Maybe the one on
Plant
the
behind.
right, just look.
Hi, I'm Francis.
I'm
Nadia.
Nadia, nice to meet you.
Looking back this way, along
Yeah,
the
or
wall.
that one. I just don't want to towards the entrance. I think the entrance.
Yeah, it's
along the
ugly.
wall here.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you both
Okay.
sit down here? All right, you might say, yeah. Why don't you sit? Yeah, because you both went in.
On this side or the other side?
Where would you like
Here?
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I started crying at the all the like touchy videos because it was just like,
All right, we're
Oh,
gonna.
see, this is how we're different.
oh, sorry.
Okay.
This
yeah,
is
have a
how we're
seat.
different. I was.
No, I'm crying because my family's life, like
Yeah.
family and love and commitment. And I'm like, what about my family?
That's a good question.
That's a really good
Yeah.
point.
It's like I'm sitting there.
So you're okay there, right?
I'm gonna brush my hair if I may.
Oh, you look good.
All right,
You look great.
disheveled, like normal.
All right, we good here. This side. Do you want me on this side? Or the other?
How's the lighting?
I'm kind of in the middle because
Just tilt your face
have
up.
to
Lighting
have
is
good
actually
lighting.
pretty good, right?
Yeah, as long as the sun stays behind the.
Right.
Former TV
Yeah.
people were.
Okay, here we go. So,
Do you have any footers?
tell me what happened in there.
You want to start?
hold on. We'll just be closer.
Yeah.
Let's see, what can I say without... You know, it's exactly what you would expect. The glossy brochures were, I love some of the words, sustainable results, put people first. And I'm just sitting there and saying, no, you're not. What about those people? What about their families? And litigation and paying $600 and $700 an hour to attorneys is not sustainable when you will ultimately end up in some kind of a global settlement. None of those words written true.
Wow. Wow.
So I sat there and kind of took it all in, you know.
Were you able to ask a question?
I was, and maybe I was too kind or respectful, but that's the way I want to be treated in life, and I felt like the way we could be best heard, and I felt like I was asking a question not just for me and my family, but for Tammy and my friend Julie and so many people. I just asked it honestly, like, what are you doing to help us? We have these products. We were told they were great, and now we have friends in heart failure, and it's terrifying, and we have families and kids, and we're so scared. What can we do?
That's great. And what did they say?
Well, you asked if you could talk to somebody in the company, like
They'll
what
ask
you
from-
should do next.
and ask many questions, and they said, feel free to come up front. And I met Mr. Gorsky, and he said he got a Pinnacle hip last year, and I said, oh, a metal one? And he said no. So I was like, of course not, because that's not sold anymore. They were like, we hear your concerns, and frankly, it was just incredibly emotional. And I don't normally cry at movies, but I cried at a lot of their movies because it was all about like family and love and commitment. And I'm like, what about my family? Like, what about my kids? What about the fact that this has been their whole childhood? It's like you get a hip replacement, you get double hip replacement, and you think it's going to be the end, and instead it's like terror and home loss and job loss and pain for just years. And then now the pain's finally gone, thank God. And now you've got cobalt poisoning and heart failure and kidney pain. So I just kind of rambled like I do, and I didn't really expect answers, but my purpose, I guess, was to say, like, this is real, and I'm a real person, and I had a job, and I have goals for my family, and they're all trashed right now.
Wow. And so you talked to the CEO. So then what else did he say? He said he got a hip?
He said he got a hip, and then he introduced me to the chief legal counsel, who took my card and said he would get in touch with me today.
Oh, he did?
He said he would get us to some names of doctors.
Wow. Okay, well that's good. But what was Alex Gorsky like?
He's everything I would expect a CEO to be. Much like my mayor or senator or whatever.
Do you think he was hurt or cared?
See, that's a hard question, because I'm a genuine person and I love people, so it's hard for me to assume that other people don't, which is why all of this has been really hard to grasp, because I trust people, and when they say they're committed to the patient, I'm like, I believe you, because I don't lie, so why would you lie? Like, this whole thing has been a huge disconnect, and the thing that really messes with your mind is that it forces you to wonder if anybody can be trusted, and that's where it just really messes with you.
Were you up there with her when she met the CEO?
No, they had security before you could get to Mr. Gorsky.
And I tried
she
to.
had spoken, and I didn't speak because somebody else had asked about the mesh women across. So they made it clear they wanted one topic.
And what did they say about the mesh women?
It was just another one of these, pass it on.
Concerns about
We're concerned.
litigation.
Yeah.
And someone asked about, hey, when can you get good attorneys, not ones that lose cases, as the talcum powder case.
Oh, so they were worried about...
This one lady was saying, when can you get some good attorneys who actually fight instead of lose cases and cost us tens of millions of dollars?
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And I was happy to go after her because...
That was her concern.
And I wanted to be like...
Your lawyers aren't good enough.
I wanted her to see I'm a real person, had a job, an education, I had a family I was supporting, and it's blown up.
And so what questions did Frances ask, and how were they responded to?
I think a couple people went up to her afterward because they heard her, and on an emotional level, it seemed that is how you want to address this kind of group. You don't want to be too angry because they don't really want to hear it.
Right. So how did the speaker address, or the person who heard the question, how did they respond when she asked her question?
It was. Yes, come up and we'll talk to you.
So they didn't respond directly.
No,
they didn't say.
Really. Nothing. They're schooled in how to gloss over things and how to say.
Wow.
And I thanked him.
We have the best legal teams. We care. We put people first.
See, like a dummy, I believe. Even now, I'm like, yeah. I know, and I was in the business and I should know, but like sincere people think people are sincere. And
one of the other things that struck me is, they have these little video snippets, and one of the things they do, and I think this explains why we don't see more media on this, is, they had Jim Cramer and they had all the financial reporters and all the little snippets of, it's the best stock, it's on the S&P 500, it's, everybody's got to buy it, everybody has to have it, it's a winner, da-da-da-da-da, parade. Nobody questions Johnson & Johnson and how they got there. Nobody's looking at the true value of this company, which would be paying billions to these injured people to take care of them for the rest of their lives. That's the true value of the company, but You're not seeing that. But it upsets me to see the media being so uncritical of a company, and that's what they are, especially the financial media.
And I mentioned one of the presentations just had all their brands, and it was brands I didn't even know were J&J brands, and I'm like, that's why the story isn't being covered. It's everything. It's the mouthwash I use. It's the soap. It's not just baby wash and hip replacements.
Neutrogena,
it's everything.
Vino.
That's why this isn't being covered. That is too big a hand feeding you as a media entity. Why are you going to bite that hand? Why are you going to say, look what they did?
You're not.
So when you got up there, it sounds like you made a very kind of impassioned sort of statement.
I have it on video.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
And I have audio, I think, from below.
Right. Excellent. And so, did you sense that the audience was receptive?
Yes.
You did. Oh, that's good.
Because when you speak from the heart, people listen. When you read off a prepared script, people don't listen. But they're earned.
And then, but all they said was, "We'll talk to you in private," basically. Or did they? Did nothing else? Like
I have his response.
Thank you for your question. I remember that. I mean, my adrenaline was up, so it's a blur, and I'm sure I rambled. But I remember him thanking me for bringing this up, and that they would get me in touch with someone. Several of the shareholders came up and apologized to me that this has happened, and that meant a lot. I mean, I know they particularly aren't directly responsible for giving the thumbs up or the thumbs down, back in the 90s. But, several people came up and said, I'm sorry, this has happened to your family. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. That's nice. It's nice.
I mean, it doesn't send my kids to college, and it doesn't fix how to get this stuff out of me. But.
Right. Well, a much bigger step would be if the CEO apologized to you and a million other people.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But they'll never do that.
Where's Amy? Hey, Amy. Oh, she's not even. Amy, not here? It's a surprise. All right. Okay. I think we got it. It's really. They got it covered, which is great. They have, so I think we're good.
Okay, cool.
I think we're good. I just want to talk to you with Amy in private. Okay. I mean, off camera, not in private.
Hush hush, secret meeting. I don't know. You think after doing this for years I could form a coherent sentence, but I can't.
No, it's very hard. And I kept thinking, what am I going to say that's coherent and that isn't immediately rejected? I did get to talk to that attorney there. My one question, I think I got to hone it down to one question, is do you think there'll ever be a global settlement for MASH? And he goes, and you are? It's his first question.
You're a shareholder.
I'm a shareholder. First thing I said, I'm a reporter and I've covered
Okay,
some.
perfect.
Well, I think,
Can he bring her down?
I said, well, the thing that struck me is sustainability, and
Yeah. Doesn't say that.
doesn't make it a sustainable situation.
Right.
And then instant backup. We're dealing with this and hardly
Okay, we'll see you back there. Okay, bye.
nothing. He said nothing, and then
All right.
he comes back.
So, the interesting thing here.
As soon as I said I was a reporter, and not sustainable.
I did mention at the end the 510K thing because he said we researched. He mentioned that. Yeah. And then this is coming back.
Oh, this is on camera? I mean, this is in the meeting? You mentioned the 510K.
Was it?
Yeah,
in the
but
meeting.
It's the last thing you said.
The last thing I said, because he said we thoroughly test everything and blah, blah, blah. And I said, thank you for that response, but I'm really worried about 510K.
And what did he say to that?
That was her last statement. That was
And he didn't
I see.
respond to that.
Well, anyway, so she went up. She did a great job, and you did a great job.
I
filming
rambled.
it.
Thank you.
She went up, and they invited her up, and she met the CEO, who introduced her to the chief counsel.
And he told me he just had a hip replacement. And I said, what'd you get? And he said, on my left. And I'm like, no, which device? And he said, the Pinnacle. And I was like, the metal? And he's like, no.
No fool.
You didn't
We
want
took out
that.
the market.
You didn't want that. And I tried to roll on
Wait
it.
a minute. That I don't know. Did we get? Yeah, let's get that again. That was good. And we
I mean,
just get another take of that. That close up.
I never.
Okay.
Hold on a sec.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So
So
you went up and met.
Hold on, I'm going to retrain. This is a single or you
Yeah. Well, single. What do you think?
Miss-
Probably single, right?
Single's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
she's
sit.
just-
I'll sit off.
Okay. Yeah.
I met Mr. Gorsky, which is kind of surreal with as much reading as I've been doing about all this. And he was warm and shook my hand and thanked me for my comments and mentioned and brought up to relate, I guess, that he had his hip replaced. And I said, oh, what'd you get? And he goes, no, my left hip. And I'm like, no, what device did you get? And he said, I got a Pinnacle. And I was like, but you didn't get the metal one. And he said, no. And then he introduced me to the head of legal.
So what about that moment when he says, no, I didn't get the medal? What did you think at that point?
It was an awkward, it was something that then I was, at a cocktail party, I would have been embarrassed that I asked it. But, I mean, clearly nobody wants the medal.
Right. And so
Not now.
Then, what did he do?
He kind of turned away. He introduced me to the head of corporate legal and then turned away and talked to someone else.
What was that conversation?
Even that was awkward. He took my card and told me his name and said he would. I just got the feeling that they were very uncomfortable. I mean, it's hard when somebody's hurting and their families have been hurting for, half a decade, and they look you in the eye. It's got to be hard.
So what did he say, though?
He said he would take my name and number and get me in touch with someone, and then he said, I'll get someone to call you today.
Okay. So that could be an interesting phone call.
Yeah, I said, I'm looking for people who know about this stuff. I mean, I know what the head of corporate legal is there to do when he comes up to talk to me. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it doesn't help everyone else who's hurting. It doesn't help my friend Julie, who couldn't even come because her heart's failing. So, I mean, I don't ever really expect my problem to be solved. I want this to not happen to your kids and his kids and her kids. So, I mean, my problem's not going to be solved at that meeting. And him putting me in touch with some doctors isn't going to fix anything. Laws changed. Make companies like this test their devices. That changes things. That's what I want. I mean, money doesn't fix this. They can't give me all the new hips that I want because my bones have grown into it. So, nothing that was going to happen at this meeting is going to fix anything.
Right.
Except I want people to know it's real. Yeah. If two more people believe that it's not just a bunch of money hungry, lazy, sitting around, why don't you go get a job kind of, that's what they think. One lady in there told us that. We sat beside her and she's like, I would look at those protesters and said, why don't you get a job? And I'm like, maybe they lost their job.
That's great.
I wish she had stayed for my comment, but she left. But I gave her my card.
Okay.
If she reaches out to me, I'll tell her why I was there.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you.
How'd you do outside?
What?
How'd you do outside?
And how's the lady who went to the hospital?
Yeah, who was
Well, I think she's stable. She's good, right? She's okay.
Who went to the hospital? Who? Was it?
She just got. Yeah. Felt like that the whole meeting. And then if she has, added stress and anxiety, then it becomes.
Because she sort of had an attack earlier in the day, and I dude, you don't know your video.
Yeah. She wants that. Yeah.
She was like, oh, it gets much worse. And then
So I have video to give you guys.
Okay.
watching someone like that, like
Gasping for breath. Was it like an asthma attack?
It was. It started as like
I don't want to be caught in a lie.
Yeah.
I don't lie well.
Just watching
Hands high.
Yeah.
Of course,
This morning?
she's dressed. She looks like that.
Right.
And just through that bravado, got it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. They didn't
They're
ask
good.
to see your ticket or anything. You know,
No, they
And
did.
that's the sick part about all this, like, because it's systemic and it's like lead poisoning. What does that look like? Like, you know, because that's what it's kind of like. I look great. I mean, if I say so myself. No, I'm just kidding. You know, considering asterisk. But like, that's the that's the crazy part about it is the fear, the fact that you don't trust anyone anymore, and you look fine. So everybody's like, well. I'm honest when I'm doing well. I'm doing well right now. I'm honest when I'm not doing well, which is the past 4 out of the past 5 years. I can't say why I got better last year, but you know, my friend has a defibrillator. Like, you can't argue with that, and she's 48. You don't have heart.
with that woman, then that's
I know.
Did they say they would call today?
So if you get a call from a number and you don't
Roll.
know who it is, let it go to voicemail.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And then grab us.
Oh,
and then
okay.
We have the camera ready. Then you
Call
call
back.
back.
You
Okay.
have available voicemail on your phone? Because I know mine fills up and I don't have.
I never check it, but I'll delete
Oh,
some
yes.
and make sure.
Yeah, make sure you have room on your phone.
Well, mine's always.
Okay.
Maybe do you want to do that now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
And
did
so-
talk
Awkward
to
pause.
some lawyer about whether there'll be a global settlement, if he ever predicts that. And you are immediately back up. I said, well, I'm a shareholder, but I also report on this issue. I said, you know, having sat in some trials and seeing that Johnson & Johnson keeps losing a trial, it's not really sustainable, and that's one of the words that Mr. Gorsky used a lot, sustainable. So do you foresee that a global settlement?
Wow.
Well, you know, he turned his back and walked away.
Great question, though.
Yeah.
Well, you have to hone it down to one thing. I have like 18
Yeah.
things to say.
One thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was good to an attorney. Yeah. Okay. So let's figure out what we are going to do.
We're gonna go pick up the lobs from Joe.
And you need my
Go
loft?
to the hotel.
Probably.
My cleavage loft?
Yes. Yes.
Is this still there even?
We're
Well,
wearing one.
let's hold on just a second.
Yeah, I think you should keep yours on.
Well, wait. First of all, when is your flight?
Oh my gosh, probably like now. I think it's at 5. Let me look that up too.
That's what you said. It was at 5.
5-ish. Hold on, here it is. Oh,
I'm going to give you my card. You need to. give me your card.
departs 5:30 from Newark, so I need to start heading that way about probably 2 by the time I drop off a rental car and then make it through all that.
Yeah. And
At
traffic,
least,
Yeah.
because I'm 45 minutes away from the airport, right?
2 is fine.
2,
Right. 2 is fine.
Yeah.
1:30.
You should be okay.
Earlier.
I mean, I'm
Really?
Well, you gotta be
and I can't walk
you gotta go
fast,
through
Right.
the,
Okay.
security.
and I have metal hips, so they always flag me.
Yeah.
And then you gotta return the car.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
45 minutes.
So 1-ish. I'll leave about 1.
Okay.
Here's my card. If I could get yours.
Thank
Sorry.
you. No problem.
Should we? What do you?
Wow, you know that woman I was speaking to initially?
Mhm.
Kind of. Thank you. Oh, excuse me.
Can we walk there?
You gotta find what makes you smile, right?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, because there's booths right around here.
Right, yeah.
The interface.
Yeah, I don't know where you guys parked it. I'm
I don't think
You know, it cracked me up, that woman beside us. You know, she was all like poo-pooing everybody out front.
Yeah.
I said nothing. And then she talked about her son is autistic, 21, in a home. And I said, why do you think he's... And she said, I think the vaccines did it. So, like, I'm like, do you see, like, did you ever want to hold anyone responsible for harming your son, possibly?
Did you ever?
Yeah, I mean,
What'd she say?
and she's like, well, it was so early. Like, they didn't know for sure. Now she thinks it was that, but back then she didn't. And then, like, the person who was treating her son with alternative therapies and trying, like, chelation and stuff like that, it turned up dead. And she was like, really? Like, she's totally, like, if she could just get out of her head and stop, like, see the difference between the shouting across the street and, like, she's saying the same thing we're saying. It's like, don't hurt people.
Did you get her number?
No, I gave her mine because
Okay.
I didn't want to ask for hers because she didn't offer it, but I gave her mine. And
Good.
I
She wasn't
so
there for you for yours. Oh no, she had
she
left.
left.
by
I
then.
so wanted her to stay because she would have been
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what,
you were talking her up so nicely. I don't think I would have had patience for her when she says, "Oh, they should get a job." I mean,
well, I mean, I've been around bigots and jerks my whole life. I learned how to deal with them, and I feel like you get them, you win them over more. There's a possibility if you don't like get aggressive with them and just let them come to the conclusion.
yes.
Instead of telling them what I
That's
think, let
very
her
wise.
figure it out. Like, my husband's like, you teach using the Socratic method. You just ask questions, you know? Because if people think they thought it up, they'll actually adopt it. And if I just tell them,
Right.
they won't adopt
You're
it.
absolutely right. That's definitely what it is.
So there's no sense confronting their,
Right.
it just made me sad because I'm like, you pick plastic out of your vagina all day and see if you can hold a job. And the thing is, she had a job. And then she married a doctor she met at the hospital, and you know, like, wouldn't that be nice for Tammy? But no, Tammy like needs to work, but she can't. But until she knows somebody, until it happens to somebody she loves, she's not gonna understand.
And it will.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, at this rate, 12, you know, and the 12 medical devices going to be released next year. That's also what made me cry. I was like, this stuff is just, they're just going to like slam us with it. And all my friends with IBF or irritable bowel syndrome are going to be running for that drug, thinking it's the answer. And I'm like, oh my God, 12 new medical devices coming on the market next year.
That's right.
Run, people.
Exactly. And none of them tested, but hey, you
He
can
said
test
they
them.
were tested, but they're not.
He lied.
That's 510K. They're tested on a machine upside down.
Yeah, or they put them in animals, which is what the PETA guy was about.
There's no way we can shoot her, though, right? Yeah.
Well, I brought a bunch of people here, and I just left them. I mean, they.
What do you mean you brought a bunch of people?
Remember, my car was full, and like, where's Jolene, and where's? Did they need rides? I guess they got rides.
I'm surprised they were all gone when we came out.
Me too. They should have been there for the.
Yeah, maybe somebody would come over and speak to them.
You see, people just looked at them and said, they're freeloaders. They don't want to work, and they're just trying to rape us for money. That's what people think until they've been through this. And that's what I'm trying to change. Is that no. I had a job. I had a master's and an Emmy.
Really?
Yes.
That would actually be really good to be on camera. That did he get it when you said the woman next to me said?
No.
That's a really good point.
You ask him if he wants it.
I will. Hey, Kirby.
Yeah.
She just said something really good. We talked to this woman who was approaching us and blah, 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 blah. And she characterized the people across the street, what she thought of them. I don't know if you got that on camera, but that's really
Jobless, you know, why don't you get a job? You just want to freeload it off of
I
us.
think we got that. Yeah,
Okay.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to download that video and then send it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see what the heck I got of all this. Because I was rolling the whole time kind of up my nose.
Okay, well.
Sure is incredibly useful.
No, the audio is good.
Right. That's what I was trying.
Dramatic shot, too.
And I had this on, so I was kind of hoping it worked as a mic
I see.
rather than using that mic. And I used. I've been rolling this whole time.